The system isn't what you think it is. Most people think they're being controlled by systems, by government, by authority. But what if that's not the real mechanism? What if the reason people stay stuck has nothing to do with force and everything to do with something they're doing without even realizing it? You've watched police interactions, court situations, authority conflicts. You've seen it. Someone pushes back, someone resists, someone tries to assert control, and it escalates. And it looks like a battle. But if you watch really closely, something else is happening. Both sides are reacting. Both sides are locked into something. And neither one is actually free. And this is where it changes. Because at some point, I stopped asking who's right and started asking what is causing both of them to act this way. Because if you strip away the uniforms, the roles, the situations, what you're left with is this: patterns, reactions, conditioning. And the uncomfortable part is that same mechanism exists in you too. So that's when I had a personal shift and things changed for me. Not when I understood the system better, but when I started seeing how people participate inside it, including myself. Because it's not just about what's happening externally. It's about what you respond to, what you comply with, what you resist, what you identify with. And most of that is automatic, not chosen. And at some point, people adapt. They learn how to navigate authority, avoid conflict, get what they need, stay safe, and that adaptation becomes how they move through life, not just in those situations, but everywhere. So now the question isn't, are you free? It's, how much of what you're doing is actually coming from you? Because you can fight the system all day and still be operating from something that was never yours. That's what I've been breaking down in my recent videos. Not just what's happening out there, but what's happening inside. Inside, while it's happening. Because that's where the real leverage is. A lot of what I've been writing about is this exact shift. Seeing clearly enough to stop reacting automatically. Because once you see it, you don't engage the same way. So the next time you're watching one of those confrontations, don't just look at what's happening. Look at what's driving it. And more importantly, look at where that same pattern might be showing up in you. Because the real trap isn't the system. It's participating in something you never actually chose. The next time you're in a situation where something feels slightly off, I want you to do something different. Don't react. Don't explain. Just observe yourself. I just got done. We just talked about how people get pulled into patterns without realizing it. How situations escalate. Not because of what's happening, excuse me, but because of how people are responding to it. And this is where it becomes real, because now it's not something you're watching anymore. It's something you're inside of. And it could be something small. A conversation, a message, someone says something that doesn't quite sit right, and you feel it, that shift in your body. That's the moment most people miss, because what happens next is usually automatic. What do people usually do? They respond. They react. They defend. They explain. They adjust. They push back. But if you pause, you'll notice something. That reaction was already forming before you even chose it. Pay attention to the moment before you react, because you'll realize it was already happening. That reaction, it isn't random. It's patterned. It comes from past experiences, learned responses, what worked before, what kept things stable. It's the same mechanism we talked about just happening in real time. So now, instead of asking, why did they say that? Why is this happening? You ask, why did I just react like that? And that question changes everything. Because when you start looking there, you see things you didn't expect. Patterns in how you respond to pressure, how you seek approval, how you avoid conflict, how you try to maintain control, and it's not always comfortable. This is why people can fight systems externally and still be completely controlled internally, because the same patterns are running inside them. But here's where it shifts. Not when you stop reacting completely, but when you start seeing the reaction as it's happening. That's the first moment that you're not fully inside it anymore. Because now there's a gap. And inside that gap, you can choose whether to move with it or not. And this is what I've been exploring a lot deeper in my writing. Not just the big concepts, but these exact moments. Because this is where everything actually changes. So today, don't try to fix anything. Don't try to change your life. Just watch. One moment, one reaction, and see it clearly. Because once you can see it, you're not as controlled by it as you think. So at some point, you'll start noticing something, a different situation, different people, different context, but with the same outcome. We just talked about watching yourself in real time and catching the reaction as it's forming. This is what happens after that. Because once you start seeing those moments, you start seeing the pattern. And most people think, I just need a different situation, or better people, better timing, better opportunity. So they change the environment and expect a different result. But what actually happens is they bring the same internal pattern into a new situation and recreate the same outcome. You don't get stuck in situations, you recreate them. This shows up everywhere. Relationships, you meet someone new, it feels different, and then it just ends in the same way. Work, new opportunity, fresh start, same frustration. Decisions, you tell yourself this time will be different. And somehow it loops back. Because those small reactions we talked about before, they're not isolated. They're connected. They come from the same underlying pattern in the way you interpret things, in the way you respond to pressure, the way you move toward or away from people, the way you make decisions under tension. It's consistent, not random. And the reason why people don't see this is because they're focused on what's happening, not what they're bringing into it. So every situation feels new, even though the pattern isn't. And when this clicks, it's not motivating. It's confronting. Because now you can't blame the situation anymore. And you don't need to, because this isn't bad news. It's actually where things open up. If the pattern is yours, that means it's visible. And if it's visible, it can stop running automatically. Not by forcing change, not by trying harder, but by seeing it clearly enough that you don't move from it the same way. And this is where I've spent a lot of time in my writing, breaking down these patterns in a way that makes them obvious. Because once you can see the pattern, you don't need someone to fix your life. So the next time something feels familiar, don't just look at what's happening. Look at what you're bringing into it. Because the moment you see the pattern is the moment it stops being invisible. So that's all I have for now. My books are going to be here any day. I'm trying to decide if I should do a live stream unboxing video when they get here to kind of show them to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're still here, I really appreciate you. And thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll be sure to do a live stream soon so that we can interact in real time. But have a great day, everybody. Peace.